Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashe Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you a synopsis, shorts review along with my thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. Hello everybody, Agashe here today. So today I'm going to be doing a Chinese drama review called A Girl Like Me. There's a total of 40 episodes for this drama, and it's been getting like a lot of hyped up that a lot of people are liking it. So I've never seen these actors and actresses before, so I gave it a shot and I was actually interested to see how it turns out. Honestly, the girls, in my opinion, the main girls, her personality at first isn't to your liking, but then she's very how nowadays modern world would be like girls nowadays, where you're not afraid of anything, and you're always strong and taking care of yourself and everything like that. You don't depend on other people. So her character is kind of like that. So I gave it a shot and I watched the first 2 episodes of it, and apparently it's been already out for 20 something episodes already. So people are really liking it, people are enjoying it, and it's kind of also a part of fantasy hit into it. So I'm going to review the first 2 episodes with you guys and give you my thoughts. As for our cast, we have Gabrielle Wang playing Bang Huang, and then Yong Hu playing Rong Xian, and then Lee Chong Lin playing Bang He, and then Xian Nan playing Xi Fei Xian, and then Zhao Shuran playing Xin Jin, Ang Yong Chan playing Xie Wang Yu, and then Liu Jiang playing Jiang Wu, or the second parts. As for our synopsis, there's the beautiful Baroness, Duchess, Princess. She gets promoted a lot throughout the drama. Bang Huang, who is skilled with everything, and she's very good, and all these things like that. But she has a very explosive manner and temper, and every relationship she is in, it ends up being a disaster, and for the groom most of the time. And it's despite of all these bad reputation that she's been trying to get married 3 times and it didn't work out, deep down she's actually a well-mannered and thoughtful person deep down. And she started having dreams where it can forecast the future, in which shows that dangers are coming around the corner, and she has to try to put her family safety first, protect them and everyone around her. And her life starts to change forever when she meets the scholar, or the Count Rongxing, a very young gentleman scholar, or they call him Count, and his family suffered a tragic, and now he's trying to find revenge for it. So he's on the hunt to find answers of why did his parents and his brother get killed, and in doing so he's going to find out what his true identity is, and all these things like that. And a friendship forms between the 2 of them, and eventually turns into love as they go and seek out the truth for Rongxi. So recap on the first 2 episodes. The drama starts us off with the narrator telling us that it's in the early autumn of the 18th year of the Daye Xinggu time or something like that, and the Bang family is getting prepared for their eldest daughter's wedding, and she's being married off to the Xie family, and everyone is rushing, yelling, preparing the wedding to be perfect. And the eldest daughter is Bai Huang, as she's getting ready for her wedding, and her family is very happy for her. The groom arrives and to pick up the bride, and the groom is Xie Qing Li, and he arrives and he breaks through the door, but it becomes a blur to Bai Huang as she's looking at her groom, she can't really see him. And then the scene flashes to her telling Xin Lin that he's telling her that he will not marry her, and it turns out she's actually having a dream during this time of them preparing for her wedding. So her brother Bang Heng is actually outside, and he receives a arrow with a note on it that Xie Xingli is going to cancel the engagement, the wedding, and he's not going to marry Bai Huang anymore. So she ends up going into town looking for Xin Xingli, and everything she's seeing in her dream is appearing in front of her, and she ends up meeting the guy. She chases after him and finds out that he's going to elope with another girl. He tells her he will not marry her, which is exactly what is happening in her dream that she forecasted. And people are talking around them saying that, oh, you know, there you go again, another wedding, she's getting rejected again, all stuff like that. Just then, Rongshin, he is the scholar, the first scholar and everything, the count scholar. He's riding a boat and nearby, like kind of under the bridge where they're at, and he hears everything. And Bai Huang, she makes it very quick to Xin Xinlin that she's born with beauty and wealth, and you know, she does not need a man to take care of her. And she pretty much just, you know, makes it quick, and she tells the other girl that, like, you know, he's willing to leave me for you doesn't mean he's not going to do that to you in the future, because, you know, that's how he is. He's a coward, and he's able to do that to me, he will do it to you too. Which, you know, I don't disagree with her. And then she, like, you know, she flew off the bridge, and then she ends up seeing Roshi, and then he looks familiar to her, so she stops in front on his boat, and like she, like, you know, exchanged some looks with him and some talks, and she leaves. And she returns home, and she's like furious, she's upset, and she starts to ask her parents about, like, have you heard of anyone who has a dream like this where they can forecast the future? Her parents are like, you know, you're just stressing out, you know, and you know, because of all this marriage is not going well for you, you know, so it's okay, don't have that in your mind, you know. And at the same time, her brothers are like, I have a list of the most handsome man in this world for you. We can still look for these men out there for you. Pretty much there's more fish in the sea for you. And Rongshin's name comes up, and her parents are like, oh, he's the perfect one, because he has a decent life, and she's going to live a happy life with him because he doesn't have parents anymore, and therefore, you know, it's going to be okay with her. She doesn't have to, like, pretty much pamper and do good for her in-laws. She doesn't have in-laws, and she's just very frustrated because her family doesn't, like, understand anything. So she's just like, whatever. And she ends up going to attend a banquet or something like that, and then she goes and she gets dressed up, and she goes and meets tons of girls, and like how all these girls are, like, they're very ladylike, and then they kind of like talk indirectly bad to her, but she just gives them straight clean, like, you know, all these things. Like one of the girls, she's like, don't even talk to me like you know me, I didn't even marry your cousin or your brother, so don't call me sister-in-law, you know, all stuff like that. So we're not family, your family's a coward, that's why your brother ran off on me, all stuff like that. So, and by going to this banquet, she ends up bumping into Rongshin again. They did not start off well, more so you see she has a very hot temper, and you know, they just kind of like always constantly exchanging words with each other. And we moving on, they show us about Rongshin's parents and his brother's death, and apparently people came to, like, royal people or something like that came to their house and killed them, and he was the only one who survived. So till today he's trying to avenge their death. And then next we go and see Bai Huang having another dream, and this time it's her family. Her father was being punished by the emperor, and their family name got demoted and everything, and they now everything's taken away, and they turn to common people. She wakes up and she's afraid, and she tells her family, but they don't take it serious. They're kind of just like, oh, you know, you're just stressing out. Like, her family is so, like, stress free. They don't even care about anything. Basically, they don't pay attention. But then her father later does go meet the emperor, and it is all due to the fact that her brother does kind of like get punished, because it's all due to the fact that the Shi's family, they made a report about the fact that their son didn't want to marry into the Bang family, and the Bang family came and trashed their play and destroyed their family's home and everything like that. So her father handled the situation. They didn't get punished. Instead, Xin Xinling got punished for it, because he, you know, it's like his family doing, and he's not allowed to go and take the scholar test to become a scholar, you know, because apparently he ran away with another woman. Basically, he didn't agree to family's agreement or arrangement, and he, like, broke it off, so it's his fault. So his family got destroyed for it. So, you know, moving on, we get to see more Rongshin and Bai Huang constantly meeting, and she actually does end up having a dream about her, which she worried, but she's kind of confused because her dreams are always revolving around her and her family, but now he's in it. So it's kind of like forecasting that she's going to constantly be running into him. And then she does run into him, but like she doesn't understand yet, you know, all these things like that, why she's running into him. And they don't really explain to you why she even had these dreams in the first place, or you know, what happened to her for her to be having these, or is it just like a curse or something she's gifted with. But then we move on to see her brother and her dad, who goes and check up on the the Shin family, and they end up seeing Shin Qingling. He trips and a bamboo stab into his eye, and then making him go blind. The brother and the dad got caught into it, and they got blamed for it. And the news traveled to Roshin, and then he ends up taking on the case and secretly investing into the Shin's family. And you know, by Huan's brother ends up in jail, and then she goes and visit her brother, asking for help from certain people here and there, requesting for help. And eventually, she ends up going to request for help for Roshin, and he doesn't agree at first, but he's just like, I'm gonna take this request into consideration. And then he ends up going to meet with Shin Qingling, and you know, learning some truth about him, learning some stuff, and that he lies, all these things like that. And eventually, you know, the next day or a couple days like that, it turns up to be like the hearing confession of all these things like that, pretty much like at a court in front of the emperor. And Shin Qingling, he mustered up and told the truth that the Bang family had nothing to do with his injury, had nothing to do with anything that's wrong with him or his family, and he just wasn't careful. He tripped and he hurt his own self in his eye. Now he's one side blinded, and it has nothing to do with the Bang family. So the first 2 episodes leaves us off there with them, you know, going to the emperor's place and with his case and everything like that. I did watch some clips forward and all stuff like that, because like it's just like literally the first 2 episodes, it's not giving you an intro, it just jumps you right into like problems, so you're kind of like, oh, what's going on, you know. But it's basically, it automatically starts like that, and then I think like some parts of it slowly shows you her side, her character, his side, and her character. So the story just starts you off right away, and it does point out certain people that is going to be within the storyline and all these things like that are going to be, you know, meeting constantly, interacting with each other, crossing path and everything like that. And like you can already see it that Roshin, he's kind of like starting to get attached to Huang. Like she's when she's not like hot head temper and everything like that, she's a very nice person. She's a very nice person, and she's very caring, and she's very nice. And he's starting to see that side of her, and he's actually starting to like enjoy it, you know, like because he doesn't have family, it's just him and his bodyguard. And for him to be having her, it's kind of like a nice comfort way for him. So there is a lot going on in this drama, and it's a lot to intake immediately, because it's not like any typical Chinese drama where it kind of gives you the intro to the characters and everything. It jumps you into like a case immediately, and it shows you her character immediately and how she is and stuff like that. So it's basically like a girl power drama kind of way, where, you know, she's not the typical type of girl during these time period. But I really do enjoy, and I want to see how it turns out. It is a total 40 episodes, so if you guys are looking for something to watch, do watch this. Her character, she's not weak, she's not, you know, she's not stupid, she's not like how typical old time Chinese drama is. She's very kind of like modern, her character is, so it's actually neat to be watching it like that, to have a character like that in the past. But that's it for today's review, and I will see you guys next time.